It's early in the morning on almost any recent 4th of July. People and racing cars are gathered in a grove of trees beside a road that leads to a tall mountain. They've been coming here for several generations. While dress styles and car designs have changed, everything else is pretty much the same as it was on that first historic day in 1916.
'Neath the skies of Colorado, there's a mountain standing tall. It hurls a mighty challenge, and the racers heed the call. Since the early 1900s, when that long road became real, men have climbed that mighty mountain with their horses made of steel. 60 years of Hillclimb legend, there's the Unzers and the rest. Their name in Pikes history, while the mountain gave their best. Now it's me in that tall mountain as my car roars up the trail. I too can be a legend, the moment's here, I must not fail. Shift the gears, the engine screams, the wind goes whistling by. My hands grip hard the wheel, 14,000's really high. The road is rough and winding, and I climb up to the sky. I must tame that old tall mountain, I can't beat it if I try. We're 50 men have started to tame that mountain tall, and only 2 were winners. The odds are mighty small, but the racers see it different. They'll be back next year to try, when we celebrate independence on that 4th day of July. Shift the gears, the engine screams, the wind goes whistling by. My hands grip hard the wheel, 14,000's really high. The road is rough and winding, and it climbs up to the sky. I must tame that old tall mountain, I can't beat it if I try. I must tame that old tall mountain, I can't beat it if I try.
The Spencer Penrose Trophy is a perpetual challenge to excellence in auto racing. It was awarded by the man who built the famous Broadmoor Hotel, which today is still a symbol of elegance in resort living. But even with Colorado Springs rapidly becoming a metropolitan city, all you have to do to find the Old West is scratch the surface. It's all still there. The green hills, snow-capped mountains, and lush grass are restful to the tired eyes of man who must visit nature and replenish his spirit from time to time. The buffalo, at one time an almost extinct life form, has again become a natural American resource. Private herds flourish on the high chaparral, within the shadow of the tall mountain. If you still want to visit the Old West, you can ride a stagecoach or a vintage train at Santa Claus Village. Manitou Springs is a place where Victorian America still lives. It is a day-to-day reminder that tourists have been coming to the mountain for more than 100 years. The entire region surrounding Pikes Peak is one of natural beauty. The Garden of the Gods is appropriately named. There's the usual tourist extras like horses to rent and a curio shop. But the rest of it is just like it's always been since the beginning of time. Even in July, you can still find pockets of snow high on the mountain. off that time. In order to do this, they have to sharpen their skill in practice runs during the week preceding the annual Race to the Clouds. If nothing else, getting out of bed at 4 a.m. to climb the mountain is certainly a test of the sincerity of each contestant. Local boy makes good. He lives in Albuquerque, but he was born here in Colorado Springs. Mary Unser, former piano teacher who married a Pikes Peak racer and bore 4 racing sons, was perhaps best known for her celebrated incendiary chili. At an afternoon press conference, her son Bobby talks about winning.
One of the main things about winning is your car and the team. But a big part of it is a thing called desire. I guess this is what Daddy was trying to tell us boys when we were little. You make a lot of your own luck in this world. It's called desire. In a way, it worked for my brother Louie. It's kept him going. It certainly has worked for Al and myself. We have 2 Indianapolis wins apiece, and that's pretty doggone good for one family.
Bobby and his Uncle Louie, among the Unsers, have shared the joys of victories. But they also know quite a bit firsthand concerning the frustrations which beset today's hill climb contestants. It's the kind of a race where final tuning is done in the open air, and sometimes a major operation is performed under very difficult conditions. Take the case of Ack Miller. When he fired up his car on race day morning, he bent a rod, and that was that. He thought for another year. But his competitors crowded around and said,
I'll go get somebody to go with me and load that engine and bring it back up.
well, somebody went to town for parts. And so with 2 hours to go, they began. None of which has anything to do with popcorn, but when you have a wagon on the mountain which was built 14 years before the famous Pikes Peak Road, you've got to include it. Especially when you consider the thousands of little boys who are now Uncle Louie Unser's age that have climbed up on this wagon wheel and said,
I'd like some popcorn. Thank you.
It's a race where there are no grandstands, except those provided by the mountain. You pick a good vantage point and cheer your favorite up the hill. The first car out is driven by Ralph Bruning. He was the fastest qualifier, consequently gets first crack at the mountain. Behind Bruning is Ted Foltz. He's won once before in the championship division, and this is his 16th run up the mountain. Others follow in rapid succession. And then another former winner, Bob Sievert. Behind Sievert are Larry Oberholzer, former winner Bob Silvers, Randy Schranz, Jack Dustin, Dick Foltz, Dick Pikes, Rick Craig, and in number 48, Jerry King. Frank Peterson is a former protege of 5-time winner Nick Sanborn. He's starting now on his 15th trip up the mountain. He's driving an Omega, a concession to current performance standards. But his big win in reputation was made in the mighty front-wheel drive Olds Toronado. Each contestant starts up the hill at intervals. In effect, each racer is completely alone on the mountain. He never needs see another competitor, except in a case where the car ahead may have slowed down or stopped, and he overtakes them. Or, if he's having problems, the car behind may leave him a cloud of dust as a memento of their passing. The road itself is gravel, kept that way on purpose, for pavement has a short life during the cold winters above 9,000 feet. 50 entrants for the stock car division are accepted. The fastest 25 earn their chance at the mountain. At the top, there's time to relive the race and perhaps begin to think about winning strategy for next year.
Yep.
At the start line, J.C. Agajanian visits with off-road racing star Rick Mears. He's the fastest class qualifier. Consequently, starts first in the open wheel division, while Acton Miller continues to fight the clock. Former winner Bob Herring takes his turn on the mountain, and then Buck Cadwell. His ride up the hill is typical of what to expect for those who might consider the Pikes Peak hill climb as a career. As in the stock car division, 50 entrants are accepted. The fastest 25 of them climb the mountain. And what's to be gained? Well, of course there's money. It's a fact that the 12.5-mile course is the highest paid race on a per-mile basis in the world. Barring money, you're a big man in the eyes of your family. And if you're single, you may find a young lady who thinks you're a winner, even if you just ran almost dead last. One by one, they come to the line and take their chance with the mountain. 1/3 of these contestants never see the top, for the mountain takes a heavy toll of engines and suspension systems. The will to win is strong in every man, and when he comes this close to the flag, well, there's just got to be a way for him to get over that line. Now, Ack Miller is on the hill. Somehow, he made the deadline.
Boy, we finally made it. After bending that rod on the line, I wouldn't have given 2 cents for my chance to be here in this race now. But she's running pretty good. As a matter of fact, I think we're going to do something real big here today. Whoop, I think we just did. Sounds like a blower on the left side that just let go a little. I'm going to make it anyway if I have to get out and push this thing over. Well, there's one thing for sure today. The only thing that didn't happen to me was any problems with my propane fuel system. I'm going to keep on running this stuff, I know, because for one thing, it keeps the Colorado skies blue. The next thing, I want to win some of that Colorado green stuff to take back home to Whittier, California.
Like the Stockers, the open-wheel drivers catch their breath at the top of the mountain. Wes Vandervoort finished second. He won in 1957. The others are just real glad to be here. Orville Nance, he's won it finally after trying for 19 years. The wildest is saved for last. The bikes are started up the hill in groups of 35 each. It's a mad scramble to the top and worth coming a long way to see.
Skies of Colorado, there's a mountain standing tall. It hurls a mighty challenge, and the racers heed the call. Since the early 1900s, when that long road became real, men have climbed that mighty mountain with their horses made of steel. 60 years of Hillclimb legend. There's the Unzers and the rest. Their name in Pikes Peak history, what the mountain gave their best. Now it's me in that tall mountain as my car roars up the trail. I too can be a legend. The moment's here, I must not fail. Shift the gears, the engine screams. The wind goes whistling by. My hands grip hard the wheel. 14,000's really high. The road is rough and winding, and I climb up to the sky. I must tame that old tall mountain. I can't beat it. celebrate independence on that 4th day of July. Shift the gears, the engine screams, the wind goes whistling by. My hands grip hard the wheel, 14,000's really high. The road is rough and winding, and it climbs up to the sky. I must tame that old tall mountain, I can't beat it if I try. I must tame that